Hi there. I and my buddy Joe English are sending our regards. And today we would like to do some ACT English section test questions together. So let's share the PDF. Okay. Our passage for today is entitled A Medical Journal. So let's read the first, the first question. Working as an editor for my university's medical journal is very demanding, comma, and my fellow editors and I spend long hours, blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah. So, which of the following alternative would not be acceptable way to write the sentence? So now we have, if we read the beginning of the sentence, working as an editor for the medical journal is very demanding. This is a complete sentence. So um, if we put a comma and one of the fanboys like and is acceptable if we continue another sentence after that. Also, if we use a colon or if we use a full stop or period is also acceptable. The one that is not acceptable would be G, if we just use a comma after the first sentence, because the comma does not mark the boundary of two independent clauses or ICs, but it is used within one IC or independent clause, right? So if we use it to mark the boundaries of two independent clauses, this would not be acceptable. So according to the prompt in question 16, the best answer is G. Let's now move to 17. Um, yeah, he's talking about his work as a reviewer or editor in one of the journals. He says, I spent long hours year round, blah, blah, blah. It should be I spend, because he is introducing us to what he's doing in his job, the responsibilities he takes care of, etc. So I do this, I do that, I and my editors do this. I spend hours year round reading or evaluating other people's research or studies. So here I spend 17D would be the best answer. So how about 18? If we read in late summer, the editorial board reconvenes in anticipation of the new fall. It sounds correct. There's nothing wrong with that. So in late summer, comma, this is considered a prepositional phrase. So we put a comma after that if we start the sentence with a prepositional phrase. So no change. F is the best answer here. Moving on to 19. So if we read 19 from the beginning, we develop a formal call for papers. Nationwide research institutions are distributed to, from which we gather blah, blah, blah. All right. So we should say that we distribute to research institutions nationwide, not nationwide research institutions are distributed to. This structure is not clear. So we should say that we distribute, so they prepare a call for paper that we distribute to research institutions nationwide, all over the country. So the best answer is C. It has to do with the word order. We distribute this call of papers to research institutions nationwide. So C is the best answer. How about 20? If we read 20 from the beginning, researchers and authors are researchers, comma, and authors are notified, and then comma after. There's no need for that. We just say researchers and authors are notified. So we don't need to put comma after researchers or not, or another comma after authors, right? Go for less when it comes to punctuation. Go for less. And in other words, they say choose the option that does not have any punctuation, provided that it is correct. So here we do not need any punctuation here, like commas or semicolons or anything like that. So uh, H is the best answer for 20. Let's now move to 21. Let's read 21. Yeah. They all receive submissions by the end of October. They all. He's talking about them, they themselves. We should say they all receive submissions by the end of October every year. Okay. We should say we receive all submissions. He's talking about the editorial board of which he is a member. So we should not, he should not say they here. He should say we, as he's talking about himself and other members of the board. So we receive all submissions, right? So 21D is the best answer. 22. If we read 22 from the beginning, editors read each work carefully over the following month and submit their critiques to the other members. Yeah, it sounds correct. There's no need to do anything here. We don't need any punctuation. So compared to G or H or J, F is the best answer for 22. No change, and we don't need any punctuation. Right, so, okay, 22F. How about 23? Yeah, they always get as many bad papers as good ones. They always get. So what is the best answer? There are always. Instead of saying they always get, we should say there are always as many bad papers as good ones. He's talking about the studies that are being submitted to the board of directors or the reviewers of the journal. And so what they should say is there are always as many bad papers as good ones, not they, right? So D is the best answer for 23. Let's move to 24 and read it from the beginning. We have a prompt in question 24, and as I said before, whenever you have a prompt in a question, read it carefully before you decide what is the best answer. At this point, the writer is considering adding the following sentence. Some of the papers even come handwritten, which makes it hard to tell the good from the bad. Would this be a logical and relevant addition to the essay? Okay. All right. So he's been talking about that in his work as an editor for a journal or a reviewer for a journal, he and his fellow editors and reviewers receive many papers or many studies. Some of these papers are good and some are bad. So here, when he says that even some studies or papers are handwritten, not typed by a computer or typewriter or something. So is it a good thing to add this sentence here, right? Is it relevant, a relevant addition? I would say yes. Yes, because it provides additional details regarding the journal submissions, which is G, right? Yeah. So, and sometimes this handwriting is not clear or it's illegible or something. So this adds an extra pressure on the board of editors and so on. So yes, should he add this sentence here? Yes, and the best answer is G. Yes, because it provides additional details, right? Let's now move to 25. Okay. Those we have trouble deciphering are immediately declining? No, are immediately declined. So he's talking about the papers which are handwritten, and he's saying that if we cannot decipher, which means the handwriting is really bad and unintelligible, and we cannot read it, so it is declined because we don't know what's in there in the first place. So not immediately declining, but we should say are immediately declined. He's talking about the studies, the papers which are written and submitted for decision, editorial decision. So the best answer for 25 is B. Let's now move to 26. Okay. Yeah, he's talking about the editors agree that each paper must reflect the professional standards of the journal and the medical community. For instance, they choose those works that they feel provide the most beneficial information. Should we say that, for instance, or should we say something like in fact or moreover or however? I think moreover is the best choice here because it's an addition to what has been said in the previous sentence. So the editors agree that each paper must reflect the professional standards. Moreover, they choose the works they feel provide most beneficial information for the journal's readers. So moreover, H is the best answer for 26. Let's now move to 27. With passion, editors argue often for their choices. Okay, so should we say that, or should we say passionately and fervently editors often argue, or should we just say editors often argue passionately for their choices? I think C is the best answer, right? It has to do with the word order. Start with the subject wherever possible, and then the verb, and then the complement. So this is the clearest and the most straightforward word order. Yes, sometimes we can start with the complement, sometimes we can start with a prepositional phrase, which is the object, etc. However, it's always better to start with the subject. So this is the canonical work order, or the original work word order that we have in English, right? So C, 27C is the best answer. Let's now move to 28. Yeah, let's read 28 from the beginning. Once we finalize the layout, we send all three issues to the brand shop. It sounds correct. There's no need to change anything here, so no change is the best answer. Remember, as I said, no change would be a good and the best answer. In fact, in many cases, like 4, 5, 6, even 7 times in one test. So don't tell yourself that, oh, I already chose 3 or 4 answers with no change, so I should not choose more. No, it doesn't work that way. The only thing that makes you decide on a no change answer if it is actually the best choice. All right. So here it is the best choice for 28F. Let's now move to 29. In the intervening time, the editorial board meets again to plan the next blah, blah, blah. Again, it makes full sense. It doesn't need any change. So 29A also is the best answer. Let's have a look at the last question we have for this passage, 30. Let's read it. Yeah, all right. In June, and once all work is done, we take off to enjoy a few months of vacation well earned. Okay, so vacation well earned, noun, and then a uh, adjective. In English, we mention the adjective before the noun, so we should say well earned vacation. Well earned would be like a modifier or adjective, and vacation is the noun, right? So the canonical word order for adjective and noun is that the adjective in English comes first and then followed by the noun. So G is the best answer for 30. Good luck for everybody who's going to take the ACT soon, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.